I want to go to Lee Child because he's extremely famous. I mean, you point out in the interview with him, he's no longer measuring the numbers of books sold. Like once it's past hundreds of millions, you kind of stop counting.
Yeah.
Like, the crazy success that he's had. And his most famous character is Jack Reacher. And you asked him about same thing. Like, what did you think Jack Reacher was going to look like? Because it wound up being Tom Cruise. And he got blowback from his fans on that because he and the audience had a different thing in mind. And here's a little bit of that, SOT 7.
So to talk about Reacher and how he's portrayed in film and TV, I think you've sold the movie rights to all 20 plus books already. In the early days, there were a ton of actors. I looked this up. I know The Rock at one point was considered for all that. I think that's probably the early 2000s, maybe before he was such a huge star. But Will Smith, Russell Crowe, Daniel Craig. But one time you told me the name of someone who was not an actor, but was someone you could, years and years ago, that you could picture in the role. Do you remember the name you mentioned to me?
I'm Howie.
That's right.
Howie.
American.
What was his second name?
Howie Long.
Howie Long, right?
Player.
Yeah. He was. Sports people in general. Yeah, football players, or in Britain, rugby players. Howie was a good-looking guy.
Yeah.
Which is why he became.
Well, I think the guy that you have currently on the Amazon show, Alan Ritchson, he looks like a young Howie to me.
Yeah, he really does, and that was always the picture I had in my mind of physically large, intimidating. A little less handsome probably than Howie, who was, a very good-looking guy.
Lee Child's got swagger, right? He's got it.
He does. I mean, I this is not a phrase I have used, but he's like a cool cat, just effortlessly cool.
Yeah, he's and you got to listen to the show just to find out how he came up with the name Lee Child, which is not his real name. And Doug gets him to explain how he got there. And it's an amazing story. I remember when you first learned it in our private life, you came home and you're like, you're not going to believe this. And sure enough, I did not believe it. But then I heard him tell it himself on Dedicated, and it was super fun.
Well, later in that episode, I say, sorry, go ahead.
No, you go.
Later in the episode, I say to him, so they do this, at the end of every episode, I do sort of a lightning round of questions. And one of the questions was, who would be Reacher's celebrity crush? And he wanted to be polite, so he didn't actually name a name, but he said, well, this former cable news host, might do would be very smart, and she and Reacher might have a. So afterwards, I didn't want to actually say the name, but I thought that would be impolite.
It was probably Dana Perino, but I appreciate that in any event. Then you had honestly, she's my favorite. She's amazing. I love everything she writes, Anna Quinlan, who you mentioned a minute ago. And we have a clip of it, and she tells, well, as you mentioned at the end, you kind of do quick hits with people, like what books are on your nightstand right now? What's the fewest number of people who have ever attended a book signing? A dose of humility. And what life advice do you have? It could be anything. It could be professional, it could be personal. And of course, Anna Quinlan did not disappoint. Here's just a little bit of what she said in SOT 10.
One piece of good advice for the listeners.
One piece of good advice. Look around. Really look around. There comes a moment, and it comes too soon, usually when we're maybe 12, 13, 14, when we stop seeing what's around us. We stop seeing the people we love. We stop seeing the natural world around us. We just stop seeing. So I would say...
That's it. Why? Because we're in a busy and in a rush and we need to slow down?
I think things get dulled after a while. All you have to do to realize how important it is watch a 4-year-old. When you watch a 4-year-old looking at an anthill, you suddenly see an anthill in a way you haven't since you were 4 years old. And then the senses dull. And I think one of the ways to understand what a privilege it is to be alive, because it really is to really look at the world.
Oh, I love that. That's great advice.
Aw,
She's
that
awesome.
one is yet to be released. That's coming still. So if you don't see it on the download list, that's why it's coming. But
She's
I
a star.
love
She
her,
doesn't
and
drink,
she's
but
so
I will
thoughtful.
drink to that advice from her. She's just awesome. It was great to be with her.
Cheers. Yeah, we got to
Cheers,
drink
honey.
again. This is what they do on Dedicated. On my show, I do require sobriety as a general matter. Have you yet gotten to the point where you've finished your glass and felt a little, hey, it's getting a little loosey or a little more fun?
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to like overplay the booze. It's not like we're getting trashed out there, but yeah. So on 2 episodes in particular, I was a little buzzed up by the end. And so was the guest. They're like, I got to go home and take a nap now.
Like many people, I am trying to eat healthier these days. And that is one of the reasons why I love good olive oil. And by good, I mean fresh. Olive oil packs the most flavor and healthiest nutrients when it's fresh from the farm. And that's the problem with supermarket olive oils. They're not fresh. They can sit on the shelf for many months growing stale. That's why I like my olive oil direct from small award-winning farms, thanks to a guy named TJ Robinson, also known as the olive oil hunter. When I first tasted TJ's Farm Fresh oils, I fell in love with their vibrant flavors. They are delicious on salad, veggies, pasta, meat, fish, you name it. And as an introduction to his fresh pressed olive oil club, TJ's willing to send you a full-size $39 bottle of one of the world's finest artisanal olive oils for just $1 to help him cover shipping. Best of all, there is never a commitment to buy anything, and you can cancel your membership at any time. Get your free $39 bottle for just $1 shipping and taste the difference freshness makes. Go to harvestfreshnow.com. That's harvestfreshnow.com for a free bottle and pay just $1 shipping. harvestfreshnow.com. Hey, thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.